On the news, Akpabio unveils Senate committees, named Adiola Wadada as chairman. Southeast leaders seek federal government intervention over insecurity. And to quell welling discontent, APC Chairman Abdullahi Adamu engages State Chairman in Abuja. It's a pleasure to have you join us on News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I am Simisola Adigun. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has announced some standing committees, namely Appropriations, Public Accounts, Ethics and Public Petitions and Establishments. Akpabio, who spoke at Tuesday's plenary session, revealed that Senator Solomon Adiola would chair the Appropriations Committee, while Senator Ahmed Wadada is to chair the Public Accounts Committee.
Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, as chairman, and the other members are Senator Jibril Barau, the Deputy Senate President as Vice Chairman, Senator Bamidele Ope, Senator Mohammed Ali Ndume, Senator Nweze Umahi, Senator Oyelola Ashiru, Senator Simon Makwom, Senator Oyewumi Olarere, Senator Darlington Wokocha, and Senator Rufai Sani Hanga. Committee on Rules and Business. This committee will have Senator Titus Tatgena Zam as chairman. Senator Yomi Kamarudin Olare will be the vice chairman. In accordance with Senate Standing Order 95B as amended, under sundry matters and in anticipation of the possibility of receiving supplementary budgetary application, the Selection Committee has also resolved to set up the Committee on Appropriations. Distinguished Senators Adiola Solomon Olamileko will be the chairman, followed by distinguished Senator Mohammed Ali Ndume as vice chairman.
The Senate President also read a letter from President Bola Tinubu addressed to the Senate seeking the confirmation of recently appointed service chiefs. He said the service chiefs will be screened by the entire Senate in the Senate chamber on a yet-to-be-announced date.
With the provisions of Section 18, subsection 1 of the Armed Forces Cap 820 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, I am pleased to present for confirmation by the Senate the 4 nominees listed below as Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chief of Defense Staff, Major General C.G. Musa. Chief of Army Staff, Major General T.A. Lagbaja. Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogala. Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal H.B. Abubakar. The Senate is invited to note the current security situation of our country, which requires concerted efforts of both the legislature and the executive to ensure a well-protected nation. This informed the review of our defense architecture and appointment of new leaders to work in synergy with one another to achieve the level of optimal performance expected of the military. While I hope that the request will receive the expeditious consideration and confirmation of the Nigerian Senate, please accept distinguished Senate President and distinguished senators their assurances of my highest consideration. This is signed by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR.
Political leaders from the southeast region are calling on the federal government to intervene in order to ensure that normalcy returns to the region. This comes after a meeting of governors and elected members of the National Assembly from the region held in Abuja. The chairman of the Progressives Governors Forum and governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma, said the government in the region need the assistance of the federal government to address the security challenges in the region. Beyond the sit-at-home order of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB and gunmen attacks, the political leaders expressed determination to end other challenges hindering the development of the region, regardless of their political differences. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, has met with state chairman of the party at the APC Secretariat in Abuja. Adamu said the meeting was summoned by the National Working Committee to discuss development in the party. He also said the meeting was essentially to brief the state chairman on the forthcoming National Executive Committee NEC meeting of the party, which will be attended by President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima. Our correspondent, Mary Kanu, now reports.
To quell welling discontent within his ruling All Progressives Congress, the national chairman of the party, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, has engaged APC State Chairman to brief them on his stewardship. State chairmen of the 22 APC-led states are fully represented here, and the meeting commences with the party chairman addressing rumors of discord in the party. Recalling a similar meeting recently held between the APC National Working Committee and governors elected on the party's platform, Adamu says issues of discipline and the need for harmonious relationship among the party's stakeholders were discussed.
We had one of the longest meetings we've ever held with the governors, and what we find most encouraging is their attitude towards the issue of discipline, their attitude towards the issue of unity of the party, their attitude towards divisionist tendencies in the party by members, and they were very emphatic. We were very, very, very happy with them, and it gave us room or cause to believe that we are going to have a very flourishing relationship with the new leadership.
Urging the party chairman to always draw the attention of the National Working Committee to crisis in their state or at the national level, Adamu says the parley was important since the chairman bear the brunt in their respective states.
A lot has been expected from us as a party, from our manifesto. It's clear we made promises. And it behoves on us to see whatever we can do to ensure that we deliver on our promises.
Addressing rumors making the rounds about rancor in the party, Secretary of the APC State Chairman Forum said there was no truth in the ongoing reports about infighting within the rank and file of the party.
Whatever you may have heard about board membership, those letters were addressed to the state chairman, and every state chairman is loyal to his governor. And where there are no governors, they are worthy and very loyal to the stakeholders of that state. There is no such crisis. In fact, we must commend Mr. President for playing to his promise of saying that state chairmen should be captains of this ship.
Despite speculations that some of the party's stakeholders are in support of Adamu's removal as chairman of the party, the state chairman restated their confidence in the Adamu-led NWC. Mary Kanu, TV 360, Nigeria.
President Bola Tinubu has returned to Abuja after a two-day trip to Guinea-Bissau for the 63rd Ordinary Session of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in Bissau. The president arrived Abuja with a new portfolio as he emerged the new ECOWAS chairman. As chairman, President Tinubu is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that conflict in the region is resolved and that democracy is promoted in West Africa. After receiving his handover documents from the outgoing chairman and President Omaro Embalo of Guinea-Bissau, President Tinubu said the regional bloc will take democracy seriously, adding that although tough, it is still the best form of government.
We should serve a warning to exploiters that our people have suffered enough. We will not allow coup after coup. West Africa separation. We will take this up seriously with African Union and to the European Union and Britain and America. Take it up. It's a challenge. Yes, democracy is very tough to manage, but it's the best form of government. And we also ascribe to it. We should make a pledge here that in furtherance of our region's economic recovery and growth, we will commit to democracy and promote democracy and rule of law. I am with you.
Since his emergence as the new chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, there have been various reactions from experts on the strategic duty placed on President Bola Tinubu. Speaking on the challenges ahead, global affairs analyst Seun Shoile said the president must take urgent steps to address the root causes of political instability in the region in order to arrive at a desired end. He added that all frameworks should be harmonized to actualize the dreams of ECOWAS.
The West African sub-region has faced several challenges, in terms of security. All right. Of course, you know that today the actors, all right, but the issue of kidnapping, banditry, and non-state actors, fomenting troubles all across the sub-region. So the issue of security is a very potent one as far as the as far as West Africa is concerned. That's number one. The sub-region is also faced with a lot of economic pressure, economic instability. All right. Nigeria particularly is facing dwindling economic fortunes. The currency is not doing very well against dollars and all of that. Of course, all these things are pressures that Mr. President will have to face both internally and externally. And also, we must also look at the issue of political instability within the sub-region. The political instability and the takeover of military in Guinea, in Mali, is still fresh in our minds. So all these are things, and of course, the president himself made mention of all this in his acceptance speech, that coup cannot be allowed to continue to fester in the sub-region, and that all the timelines that have been given to all the military juntas towards handing over back to the civilian government should be respected.
Over the course of history, the world has seen rapid population growth, which has enabled a rich diversity of culture and an increased human capital pool. However, population growth is increasingly coming at a cost, as it contributes to the depletion of natural resources and causes widespread pollution. On the commemoration of the 2023 World Population Day, experts have called for swift actions to address challenges and rapid population growth and alter the dynamics between population, natural resource and climate change and its adaptation. There are more details in this report. Recent data by the United Nations World Population Life Counter shows that in 2023, the world population reached 8 billion people. This dramatic growth, which should be described as a milestone in human development, has been driven largely by increasing numbers of people surviving to reproductive age, the gradual increase in human lifespan, increasing urbanization, and accelerating migration. This trend, however, will have far-reaching implications for generations to come amid a depletion of the Earth's resources, with overpopulation leading to overconsumption.
We narrow down development not only in terms of growth, of what we have as a nation, but we narrow down development to the well-being of the population. So if you narrow down development to the common element, just the human beings that reside in a particular environment, you will discover that there is a high correlation or relationship, interrelationship between the population and then the development. If you don't manage your population, definitely the population are more likely to be in poverty.
By 2040, global population is projected to reach 10 billion with a present growth rate of 1.5% per year. According to the World Meter elaboration, this signals a call for action concerning the world's use and management of its resources.
Mention of any sector, the moment the population is not properly managed and we don't have a very strong managers to handle our sectors, there will be crisis. Access to water, good road, many other things that are there. A lot of them that are there. The consequences are, well, in fact, unimaginable crises that will happen. So that's why you see that the managers, that's our political leaders, elites, they need to do a lot of things and set the development plan in such a way that the dividend of democracy will get to the people.
In Nigeria, one of the downsides of its increasing population is the rising number of poor people. The country's human capital development ranked only 150 of 157 countries in the World Bank's 2020 Human Capital Index as it continues to face massive development challenges. Inequality in terms of income and opportunities remains high and has adversely affected poverty reduction.
The last time we had a population census should be beyond 15 years now, if we should remember. The question will be, by what statistics really have our governments hinged their policies over the years in terms of economic growth, economic planning? What indices have they used to determine, for example, housing issues?
Nigeria is predicted to become the fourth most populous country in the world by 2050. Experts say investment and improvement in human development indices such as education, healthcare, agriculture, and security form the basis for preparing the population for the future. Simisola Adigun, TV360 News. We'll take a break here, but still to come, South African runner Caster Semenya wins case at the European Rights Court. We'll bring you details of the story and more when we return. Welcome back. Let's give you a recap of our top stories. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has announced some standing committees, namely Appropriations, Public Accounts, Ethics and Public Petitions and Establishment. Akpabio, who spoke at Tuesday's plenary session, revealed that Senator Solomon Adiola would chair the Appropriations Committee, while Senator Ahmed Wadada is to chair the Public Accounts Committee. The Senate President also read a letter from President Bola Tinubu addressed to the Senate seeking the confirmation of recently appointed service chiefs. We also told you that political leaders from the Southeast region are calling on the federal government to intervene in order to ensure that normalcy returns to the region. This comes after a meeting of governors and elected members of the National Assembly from the region held in Abuja. The chairman of the Progressives Governors Forum and Governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma, said the government in the region need the assistance of the federal government to address the security challenges in the region. Now, just in case you missed any of our news bulletins, and for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Welcome again. Let's now join Folashade Ogurinde, who is on standby with business news. Over to you, Folashade.
Well, many thanks, Simisala. Welcome to Business News. The Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative has urged the President Tinubu-led administration to implement policies that will improve the growth of local airlines in the country. At its 2023 second quarter business meeting, members decried the rising rate of Jet's A1 fuel, which has led to the skyrocketing cost of operations. While calling for reform of labor unions in the aviation sector, the chairman and CEO Air Peace Airlines, Alain Uyema, expressed worry over berth strikes, which is one of the major causes of delayed flights. Also speaking at the event, the president of the group, Benga Olowo, who spoke about the issues the aviation sector faced under the Buhari-led government, emphasized that collaboration, cooperation and merger should be explored to get the desired changes in the aviation sector.
If I submit that you serve the airline, that airline is the principal organ, what is the fate of airline in Nigeria? Critical as the airline industry is, foreign airlines in Nigeria are suffering untold hardship, while the Nigerian counterparts are in worse agony. We all bear testimony to the various failed efforts of government to birth a national carrier after murdering the one-time success of Africa, the Nigeria Airways, and the latest controversy about Nigeria Air.
If you want the airlines to blossom, allow them to access finance at a rate that is affordable and at the same time reasonable, not what is happening now. So government has to address that issue of local production of Jet A1, and thank God the Dangote refinery will soon start producing that. He should be given more support to make it happen. That will bring down the cost of operations of these airlines.
We'll take a short break now and be back with a review of the stock market. Just stay with us. The bulls maintained their stronghold on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, weeding off the bears after they fortified their strength by 1.65% at the close of trading activities on Tuesday. The market capitalization of the bulls moved up by 59 billion naira to end at 35.76 trillion naira. Now, in the aggregate, 115 NGX listed equities participated in trading, ending with 38 gainers and 34 losers. Now, Transcorp Hotels led the gainers with 10% share price appreciation, closing at 39 naira 50 kobo per share, followed by FTN Cocoa Processors. Now, on the losing side, Consolidated Hallmark Insurance came out last on end-of-day price appreciation of 10% at 1 naira 17 kobo per share, followed by Champion Breweries. Now, at the end of today's trading on the NGX, a total of 84 million units of shares with a market value of 9.41 billion naira exchange hands in 8,922 deals. Now, just as we had it on the NGX, it's also rained green for some select global stocks as the FTSE, Dow Jones and Nikkei. Now, as you can see on this chart, the FTSE ended strong at 0.12%, the Dow Jones at 0.56%, and Nikkei, that's the Asian stock, closed at 0.043%. Now, while the Nikkei rose after the end of sell-off in exchange-traded funds, the Dow Jones rose modestly on Tuesday ahead of inflation data, as investors were hopeful that a slowdown in price increases could support a sooner-than-expected end to the Federal Reserve's policy of rapid monetary tightening. And that's it on Business News. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Folashade. And on the international scene, Russia has attacked Kyiv in an overnight drone strike, causing minor damage as NATO leaders prepare for a summit focused on supporting Ukraine against Moscow's invasion. Kyiv's military administration says the attack used Iranian Shahed explosive drones launched from the south, likely from Russia's Krasnodar region. Kyiv's interior ministry said drone wreckage had been located at an undisclosed location in the region. And Kyiv, which had been relatively spared from attacks since the beginning of the year, had faced frequent nightly aerial raids in May. Finally, in sports, double Olympic 800-meter champion Caster Semenya has won her appeal at the European Court of Human Rights to challenge whether her rights had been infringed in terms of requiring women with high testosterone to reduce those levels through drugs. The 32-year-old, who is classed as having differences in sexual development, has refused to take testosterone-lowering medication as mandated by the Sports International Federation as the World Athletics if she wants to compete at her favored distance. Semenya lost in an appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and Switzerland's appeals court subsequently confirmed the decision of Sport's top court. She brought the case against Switzerland as part of a long-running legal battle. In its ruling, the Strasbourg-based ECHR found in particular that the applicant had not been afforded sufficient institutional and procedural safeguards in Switzerland to allow her to leave her complaints examined effectively. Semenya won the Olympic gold at the 2012 London Games and at Rio in 2016. Well, that's our package this evening. Many thanks for watching. I'm Simisola Adiko.